Why watch forecasting love and weather when I can do it for you? In my humble opinion, the first episode was so stupid. No wonder it was supposed to be called a meteorological agency, people. A stupid name for a stupid show. Anyway, episode 1 titled Signal. No, not the Twice song. Starts off with our lovely protagonist, Jin Ha-kyung, who's suffering from an extremely common disease known as selective color blindness, where she can see every color perfectly fine except for the color red. Either that or she's just extremely stupid because she's ignoring every single red flag that her fiancé is throwing at her. So she's at her sister's hanbok shop, waiting for this fiancé so she can pick out her dress for the wedding, but he's a no-show. After ignoring her calls, he'll be such a loving husband. He texts her some lame excuse as to why he can't come, and her mom jumps at the opportunity to hate on this guy. She's like the leader of the anti-Jin Ha-kyung's fiancé fan club. I'm the vice president. Now the mom obviously isn't sold on this marriage, so she tricks her two daughters into visiting this fortune teller. Not sure why the sister has to tag along, probably to contain this feral child from spitting on the fortune teller or something. Anyway, the fortune teller tells them exactly what the mom wants to hear, which is that this marriage isn't gonna work out. Now Ha-kyung obviously doesn't appreciate this, so her sister, being the amazing sister that she is, tries to convince Ha-kyung on why marriage compatibility is so important. When Ha-kyung roasted my girl for absolutely no reason,
결혼하기 전에 궁합이 얼마나 중요하다. 언니는 뭐 궁합이 안 좋아서 이혼했냐?
Bombastic side eye.
now she angrily storms out of the place, but while she's putting on her shoes, the fortune teller warns her to take an umbrella with her. But she scoffs it off because she's like, it's literally sunny right now, and I'm the weather forecaster here. Proceeds to take an umbrella anyway. On the way to work, she drops by her house to give her husband some porridge, but he seems to have changed the passcode. Interesting. I'm sure that won't have any relevance in the plot after this. Anyway, she gives it to him and leaves, and that's when she gets a call from her coworker. Now, this is important, so don't just skip it because it's a bit technical. Ha-kyung, there's kind of an emergency right now. What is it? So there's a 5% possibility of hail today. Should we alert the fishermen? What's the real percentage? Like 4.9%? Does that even matter? I remember reading in my 6th grade geography textbook that it's only a problem if it's above 5%. Okay. Maybe. Just maybe this is why her coworkers don't like her. Now, this is where it gets entertaining. So about this guy. For those of you who haven't seen the show, good for you. This is basically how he's introduced. This girl, very gorgeous by the way, is on her way to work when a car pulls up and Mr. Smooth over here rolls down his car window and she gives him this look which is like, how did you get this car? I paid for it. With what money? Want a ride? No. Like, she totally does not believe that this absolute peasant can afford any mode of private transportation. Now, remember how I said she was on her way to work? Well, this guy took her out for lunch instead, because why go to work and earn money when you can get a car with a 36-month installment plan? Enough hating on this guy, this is actually kind of sweet. He takes her to a restaurant she mentioned she wanted to eat at. Only problem is, he's a few months too late to take her there. She's already been here a couple of times apparently, but she's too much of an ass to say anything about it, so she just watches him as his happiness and will to live slowly leave his soul when he realizes that she's a regular customer because the waitress mentioned it. He tries to make some small talk here and there, but fails miserably because she does not care. She looked like she would rather be predicting the weather forecast at her office or something. And upon noticing this, almost as if reading her mind, he decides to talk about the one thing ladies want to hear about the most. The weather. Good job, Mr. Smooth. Okay, now that I'm done bullying him, I'll cut to the chase. Shibu talks about how he thinks that it will definitely hail. And just as he said that, surprise, surprise, it started hailing. Back at Ha-kyung's office, obviously Ha-kyung was getting in trouble for messing up and not reporting the chance of hail since it affected lots of people, but her coworker takes the blame instead and the problem just fades away. But then that coworker just casually gets a heart attack, so he's rushed to the hospital and Ha-kyung has to fill in for him by becoming the team leader. Shiwa gets pissed that Ha-kyung didn't report the hail, so he demands to speak with her, and Ha-kyung for some reason gets angry as if she wasn't being accused of something that she did. So she's like, there's not gonna be rain today, so I'll come to your office to whoop your ass. And just as she's leaving the office, it rains. This really isn't her day, is it? Well, it gets worse. She gets in the car only to find out that the wedding is practically cancelled. What? Her wedding? The venue, the cake, the dress. She's getting messages from all of them saying that her fiancé suddenly cancelled on them. She tries calling him but he doesn't pick up. So she goes home to confront him, naturally, and she opens the bedroom upon hearing strange noises, only to see that her fiancé is cheating on her with Cha Young-hoon of all people. I mean, at least now we know why she was so dry with Shiwoo earlier. She must just be trying to gently reject him, right? Well, no, she's Ishiwoo's freaking girlfriend. Because it looked to me like this poor dude was getting rejected by his crush or something. But no! I don't know if I should feel bad for him or make fun of him, so I just went ahead and did both. If you ever feel bad about your crush not knowing you exist, or even existing, anime fans, I see you, just know that he's getting rejected by his own girlfriend. We don't even have to talk about Hawking's fiance, because that guy raises my blood pressure so much, he makes my fight or flight senses activate, and I'm definitely gonna fight, alright? While obviously having a mental breakdown because she found out that her fiance is cheating on her like 7 days before the wedding, she tells him to pack up his stuff and leave the house, obviously. So, sensing that she wants him to move out, he's an empath, like the memers say. He took his belongings, like his socks, his shoes, and the dishwasher? And the TV? And like every piece of furniture in the house? Well, I don't really think that's quite what she meant by take your stuff and leave. Hey, you didn't do your job! Do you just say I didn't do my job? Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I said. Oh, okay, the signal's really bad here.